I'm going to record. All right, awesome. Hey everyone, this is my client Jorge, and he is currently in the FitNut Lifestyle Academy and here to share his experience with you today. So are you ready, Jorge?
Yep, ready.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit more about where you were with achieving your fitness goals before you started this program.
Okay, yeah. So I've pretty much been heavier set most of my life. Ever since as a kid, I was, part of the, I was getting clothes that was, for like heavier set kids all through high school. And so in my early 20s, I decided to try to be healthier. And so I kind of did my own research and found a program online that I was able to pick up that I was doing. I tried to follow it to a T. It was something where it provided a video and some information on a daily basis. And it was like a 60-day program or something. So I did it and it worked for me. I lost a lot of weight, but it was very restrictive. It was literally I think it was meant for people that were like athletes or people who were like bodybuilders that were, doing, photo shoots and things like that. So it was pretty much, brown rice, chicken, broccoli, 3 days, 4 days a week, or the whole idea of eating 6 meals every 2 hours. And I did it and it worked, but it was very frustrating when I was done because even though I had the results, I was I didn't know what to do after that. I didn't know if I should just keep training. And I wanted to eat the food, like some enjoyable food. So then I started thinking of the idea of like a cheat meal here and there, and a cheat meal turned into a cheat meal 2 times a week. And then that turned into a cheat meal 3 times, and, et cetera, where then, it was 4 cheat meals a week. And then I was constantly telling myself I was going to start over on Monday. And then I would try to restart that program and then I was so frustrated with where I was ending up, and then I was gaining weight. So it just turned into this cycle. And then that turned into from like my early to mid 20s till my, late 20s, early 30s. And then the whole thing went out the window and I just spun out of control. And I went back and shot up to the heaviest I'd ever been in my life. And so being, more older than 30, wanting to know like, how do I get back to where I was, or how do I do it? I was like, I need help. And so that's when I was like, I saw all the, us being friends on Facebook. I saw all the FitNut stuff. And for a while I was like, oh, I'd really love to do that program, but you guys are so far away. I'm on the south side, you guys are on the north side. But when I saw the online options and the Zoom training, I was like, well, let's give it a shot. Let's see where
Awesome.
this can go.
Awesome. Yes. So where were you before do you remember the weight you were when you started in this program?
I was 267 pounds.
Yeah, 267. Yeah.
Yeah.
And today you're 217.
217. Yeah.
17, and you were 216 the other day.
216. Yeah.
That's okay. We just had a little bit of sodium. That's all. That's all right. So yeah, he's doing phenomenal and you're doing phenomenal. So what was the turning point for you? I mean, obviously you already said when you decided to join the Academy was really just saying enough's enough. You're at the highest you were. And I guess what made you choose us other than maybe knowing us? Because that was a no-brainer.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, that was a big part of it, but also the one thing that stuck with me in the, the Facebook posts, the Instagram posts, was this idea of you like non-restrictive. And when I first talked to you the very first time, you were like, you can eat foods you like, and then in special occasions or when you're hanging out with friends, you can go ahead and have that meal, but you learn afterwards the formula for getting back on, staying on track, and not letting that one meal spiral you out of control, where you're constantly saying, oh well, I'm back on the diet on Monday, I'm back on it on Monday. And then you just binge for 2, 3 days, which was how I was used to doing it. I was giving into my cravings. So it was that was the huge thing. I saw that and I was like, how do I do that? I only know chicken, brown rice, broccoli, or ordering Grubhub every day.
Right, right. And so, how does this coaching experience? You talked about a program you had done. Had you done a different program prior to, like, have you done any other weight loss other than that online program before?
Um, not any that I'd followed, because that was the only one that had worked for me before. So I
Okay,
kept going back to it expecting a different result, and it
sure.
was not. I mean, I'd looked at other programs, and of course I've gone down YouTube rabbit holes. For the longest time I've had, power lifters, bodybuilders on my YouTube page. I follow all these like health influencers, and they all have tips and tricks, and like, you don't eat this way, or you don't, or keto's the way to go. No, this way, what is it, paleo's the way to go. No, carnivore diet's the way to go. And all these, everyone's saying that it's the best. uh and so
It's
I would, yeah,
interesting.
like I would do a little bit of it and I'd get a little bit of results, and then it was not sustainable and I would just jump back to my old habits.
So, how do you feel like this program differs from like the other program you did? How do you feel like it differs?
Well, the first thing was that I had already started using like a food tracking
Hmm.
thing. So I had already had some experience using it, so it wasn't a big shock when that was like the main tool for managing. Just but the way that you said it and the way that I'd said it before, I was trying to be very restrictive. And when we first started talking and you first set the goal, and when you said you only have to worry about uh, calories and
And
protein,
protein.
and I was like, what? I can eat all the bread I want as long as I can eat, this, I can eat that. I can have like a Blaze pizza or something. That blew
You
my mind.
did, and you did.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep, with no remorse.
No, and that was a game changer for me, because that was like anything I've like unlike anything I'd done before. To me, it was about restriction, and you don't eat the bad foods. And here I was eating all these things and seeing the weight drop regardless. So yeah, that's what did it for sure.
Awesome. What do you think stands out in this experience that helped you achieve your goal successfully? Or I know we're still achieving, but like having gone this far, what do you think stands out in this experience for you?
I think there were a couple things. I think definitely the like methodology of it, the premise of this being able to eat foods that you enjoy and then still stay within the structure of the program, but
Mhm.
also the accountability. The thing that kept me going is the fact that using the app and me having to play up my meals, there's some times where I'm making decisions like and then the one thing too is the when you I think we did one of your courses where you were just kind of talking about the way to track foods, and when you said tracking foods the night before instead of tracking foods after you've eaten them, that was also like a game changer for me, because then when I'm structuring foods and I'm like, oh, should I eat this or that, I knew that that was going to go somewhere where you were going to be able to look at it. And I was like, no, I can't. I can't. She's going to know. So then I would go for like the safer option, because I know that that's going to fit well. So that level of accountability definitely, helped me make better decisions, especially in the beginning, where it was a lot easier for me to want to give into cravings.
Mhm.
Now you kind of build the habits, and then it's a lot easier for me to just kind of, you know, be conscious on my own. But at the beginning, it was always this a little bit of fear of like, Arlene's gonna say something. I'm gonna get that one message, and she's gonna be like, I don't know, what is this? What is this?
Yeah, you know, it's momentum. You've really built the momentum over time. You know, in the beginning, it's always hard, but I think one of the things that gets easier is when you continue with the habits, you build the momentum you need to keep going. And you know, there's nothing more motivating, I think, than seeing the results. And you know, I think that also kept you going. I mean, I know we just talked about this about hitting this like 190 goal, 200. And, you know, you thought to, I think you tried to say you were going to max when we first talked, like, I just want to get to, what was the number you said you wanted to
I
get to?
said 220,
220.
and I thought that was going to be a stretch.
And we already surpassed that.
Yeah.
We actually got to 216 and we surpassed that. And so, you know, having this next push, whether we get there or not, it's that it just all the momentum just drives you to want to keep going. As you said, like you now you're like, okay, I thought 220. Now I'm like, crap, let's go to 200. Let's go to 190. So yeah, definitely the momentum and seeing those results keeps you going. I think it's also easy to go backwards sometimes, but I think when you can build those habits like you've been so consistent with, it's kind of hard to kind of go back. And you know, it's funny. One of my clients told me the other day that you know, for her girl time of the month, usually she goes off path because all the diets that she's been on in the past were so restrictive that every time that this time came, it was always a cheat meal. And she was like, this is the first time she has never gone off track because she said she no longer has to think of a meal as cheats because she actually can have it. And
Yeah.
so, you know, and I think the one thing for you with the things you were following with the bodybuilders and the power lifters and how they did it, I think you've realized that, and we talked about this today too, is that you realize that while you follow that, you knew that wasn't the lifestyle that matched your lifestyle. You know, like you love being fit, you love fitness, and you want to eat healthy and you want to look good, but it wasn't a dedication to that only is what you wanted to your life to be. Right. I mean, I think you had mentioned that you wanted it to be an important part, but not the only thing you did.
Right. Yeah. Because I was seeing, you know, the diets that I was following were people who were in the gym 4 hours a day, Monday through Sunday, you know, because they were YouTube influencers that all their product was how they looked and how they built their bodies. So I would try to eat that way, but I wasn't in the gym 4 hours, you know. I did enjoy working out, but you know, I wanted to do other things. So, you know, like their lives revolved around fitness, and I didn't want my life to be that. So it was hard to try to find a middle ground to try to merge my life to that type of lifestyle, and then not being happy because that's not what I really wanted to do. So I
Mhm.
didn't really know how to make that work, and I would just flip flop to that style and then nothing, and then that style and then nothing. So then this is a lot different because I feel like this puts an importance to fitness and health, but it doesn't make my life revolve around it,
Mhm.
because I can kind of still live the life that I was doing when I was completely unrestricted, now with just a couple of parameters where like I'd be like in the weekend, I'll be like, oh, I want to eat, you know, so and so, like a pizza or something like that. Then I can go in ahead of time and be like, I put it in, and how do I make it work? Where do I have to shift things around where I can have these one or two slices of pizza, and then I get to really enjoy that food,
Right.
and then still fall within the parameters of the diet.
Diet. Yep. Absolutely. And so what would you say is your favorite part of the program so far?
My favorite part. Let's see. Well, I would say I do enjoy the kind of like the community aspect of it with the app, and the two things, the accountability, like these meetings where we kind of talk about and kind of level set at where we're at,
Mhm.
because it lets me see kind of where I'm at, and you know, get your opinion on how to kind of move forward,
Mhm.
uh in kind of like the journey of trying to get healthier. I think that's definitely the things that I enjoy the most.
And
Um,
so we talked about earlier, I just have to ask you this. What are the things you no longer feel that you thought was an issue before losing all this weight? Like the pains and the aches, like all of that.
oh, oh yeah, like so not just like weight wise, right? That's always nice seeing the numbers drop and everything. But so I was starting to get the another thing too is that I'd gone for my yearly checkup, and I've done this for a couple years now, where the doctor would be like, you're relatively healthy, but the weight, everything. And I would complain about back pains. I was getting pain in my hands, pain in my knees, and heart. I used to get a lot of heartburn and things like that. And I thought I was getting, because there's arthritis in my family.
Mhm.
And here I was thinking I'm getting arthritis because it's genetic. My knees are bad because I used to play a lot of basketball when I was a kid. My lower back because of so and so. And as soon as I started losing the weight, all that stuff is gone. Like there's no more pain in my hands. And I was showing you, like I got the ergonomic mouse. I had the compression gloves because I thought it was arthritis. All of it's gone. The knee pain's gone. The lower back pain is gone. There's no more heartburn. I don't even remember what that feels like because it's been so long. And
You
yeah,
don't want it anymore.
yeah, no, it is not a good time.
Absolutely. So I appreciate you sharing this with us today. And if somebody, Jorge, was thinking about doing this program, what advice would you give them?
I would definitely say, like, be completely honest with kind of the where you're at. I think that there's a lot of times, and especially kind of in your progress, there were a lot of times where I kind of, the thought would come into my brain. It's like, maybe if I don't, log this food, or if I cut corners here and there, and do things like that. But it's really just doing like a disservice to yourself, and it's not allowing you to help me out, right? It's kind of doing a disservice to everybody to do that. So if you're a beginner, and I know the cravings are there and the workouts are really hard at the beginning because your body's not used to working out like that, especially having to work out at home and finding the time. But just be completely honest. If you don't get all the reps in, mark that down. If you gave into a craving, mark it down, just so in the next meeting we can talk about it, and then we can provide, or figure out a strategy to address those things.
Mhm.
And that's where the then kind of get back on kind of like a solid track to success.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jorge.
Yeah,
Is
no
there
problem.
anything else you want to mention while we have you?
Uh, no, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm super excited for the whole process. I'm really happy with all the results. Of course, I'm now I'm at a point where I'm like super amped up. Like I I want to keep going. I'm at that level, and I we talked about this earlier, where you get your mindset at the beginning is one thing. It's like, well, just something to get to a certain point, like 220 is fine, even if I don't get there, as long as I'm healthier. And now you get to 220 and you're just like, I want to work out harder. I want to really figure out the food situation and really make it work. And whatever your suggestions, what do you think is best? I'm like full tilt right now.
Absolutely.
And
I
so
love it.
that's really exciting. So yeah, I'm really happy. I started the program, and I'm hoping. I can't wait to see where we end up.
Awesome. It's been a pleasure. I thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Okay. Let me